Hello beautiful soul, and welcome to Manifest with me, Rebecca G. I'm your manifestation, meditation and mindset coach who blends equal measures of soul, strategy and a little sprinkle of science on the side. Consider me your modern day pink witch with my spiritual toolbox packed full of ideas to energize and inspire you and to put the action into the law of attraction. Let this podcast be your weekly fix because, my beautiful soul, it is time to turn your vision board into a reality. Hello, beautiful soul, and thank you so much for joining me here on Christmas Day. I just wanted to give you the hugest virtual hug, and sorry, apologies, I'm losing my voice a little bit. It's that time of croaky coughs and colds and the horrible snotty season where I'm picking up on my child's cold. But I just wanted to jump on here today and just say a massive heartfelt thank you for this beautiful year of spending time with you, and those of you that have reached out to me on my social media and you leave reviews for me on here. I am so grateful. The podcast has exploded in ways that I never ever thought possible, and just you taking those moments to just say thanks or tell me what you love about today's episode. Some of you message me every fucking week and I love it so much, and I just wanted to just thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm getting so emotional recording this today because I can't believe we've absolutely smashed it this year, and I have enjoyed every guest we've had on, and I'm so excited about where this next year is taking us. So we're kicking off the year with some real deep juicy manifesting tips, and then it will lead into manifesting your man, which is a masterclass that I've got coming up in February. So if you know someone who is struggling, who is single, who's in and out of that single Pringle loop of always meeting the wrong guy or always getting dumped or always meeting abusive men, I've been there. I feel like I could literally write a book about it. In fact, I am bringing a lot of it into my book that I'm writing. So make sure you tune in for that. And if you're not single and you have a friend who is, then send them these links that are in the bio. Send them my brand new website, which is coming out. Actually, my website's coming out the 1st of January. Oh my God, I'm so excited to release my new website and all the new branding that's coming with it. So you probably noticed the podcast cover has changed. So yeah, that will give you a cheeky little insight into what's happening with the social media. And my new Instagram is finally up. I've got a Facebook page, I've got a Facebook group. So jump in and join me because I'm about to get really loud on social media. I think Meta tried to quieten me and shut me down, but it's not going to happen. Good old Mark. Who owns Meta? Is that who owns Meta? I don't know who owns Meta. I'm making it up. But anyway, I'm going to get loud and I can't wait. So thank you so much. Enjoy today's episode. It was recorded a couple of days after I got back from my holiday, so excuse. I think I had a little bit of a slow vibe going on in this interview. I wasn't as sprightly as I normally am. But yeah, enjoy. And I'll see you in January. Can't bloody wait. Mwah! Have a great Christmas day. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to Manifest with me, Rebecca G. Today, I've got a guest who's one of my new friends on my Instagram. I now have more than 50 friends, you'll be pleased to know. If you listen to the start of this podcast, I put a tiny little advert in there about how I lost my social media, but I do feel like this is for a reason. And some of you know that I'm having a new website, new branding, and actually by the time this podcast goes live, the new website will probably be out there. You probably started to see snippets of my new branding. My podcast logo and everything has changed. And how coincidental. We just called this, me and Kerry, who are my guest today, called this a bit serendipity because it's this journey that I've been on through colour. And we're going to talk about that today because Kerry Hussain is an artist and founder. Her business is called Art for the Soul. Look her up on Instagram. Look up her beautiful, incredible art. It's absolutely stunning. She uses her paintings and, well, her title is She Creates Paintings with Purpose. I love that. So what she does is she intends this to be used for a kind of a tool for mindfulness. She uses it in meditation and obviously in manifestation practices. That's what brought and drew us both together. She's going to talk about how she came into that journey and also her latest project, which is Chromagik. Is that how I say it? Or Chromagik? She'll say that when she talks about it in a second. Helping people to really just amplify the manifestation process through colour. Now, she's been in some really snazzy magazines. She's been in Psychologies, Natural Health, Women's Fitness, Soul and Spirit. She's featured in Real Homes. She's been in 25 Beautiful Homes magazine. And she's also spoken about manifesting colour on the radio and many podcasts. And she's going to talk to us on our podcast today. Welcome, Kerry.
Well, that was a fabulous introduction. Thank you so much.
Bless you. Tell us all about you. I'm going to pin you on the page. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you don't get to look at me. You can just look at beautiful Kerry.
Oh gosh, no. I just posted a story on Instagram actually because I always sort of feel if I'm coming on to talk about colour, I always feel like a bit of a fraud because I love monochrome. I'm all about black and white, so everything's black and white in my home. But yes, I do love colour. but we'll get to that.
Well, I just went on this incredible journey of color. So I've got a couple of businesses that people know about. One of them is called the Green Room. One of my surnames is Green. I've got a double barrel name. Now I'm married, but my clinic is called the Green Room. So that whole vibe of aesthetics and medicine, I've got it as green. So when I was getting my Rebecca stuff all rebranded, they were really pushing for this like olive green color, and it was just throwing up all this really strange emotions. I mean, I was crying. They were sending me samples of my website, and I was just like crying. I can't have my Instagram. I'm like it was live. It was really weird. I was like, I don't know what. I just went through this really weird journey with color with them, and then they started sending me all these other colors like blues and golds and whites, and I was like, oh, I just felt like something ignited me. And from the colors changing, I've had this massive wealth transformation and written a wealth course about earning money. Wow. It's so fucking weird. I was just, how can color do that to you? And then you reached out and said, I'd love to go on your podcast and talk about color. I was like, this is so in line and in sync. I was like, it's because I'm changing my colors.
That's so amazing. And it's interesting as well, because green is traditionally the color of about abundance and wealth. So it's interesting that you've kind of gone the opposite way, and you've still managed to sort of manifest it all. And the green, going back to the Green Room, a little fun fact, maybe you don't know, maybe you do, because in TV land, the Green Room is where guests go to relax before the show, and it's called the Green Room because they would traditionally use green colors in there to help people relax, because green is a relaxing, soothing color. So
I didn't know about guests, because I always to hear it on Jonathan Ross. They're like, oh, they're
in the Green Room.
It's not like a green room, but I didn't know that's what it was for, and the color scheme. That's so interesting.
I mean, I never kind of twigged really that. I mean, I always knew it was called the Green Room, but I never really knew why. But it kind of makes sense, I suppose, that it's a place for people to relax. And
so tell us how you came on this color journey, this beautiful, because you openly messaged me and said about your trauma and things that you happened, and if you want to share that on here, you can, like how details, but kind of what happened with you and kind of what brought you to where you are now.
It has been a journey, definitely, and it's not been a sort of straight line. Basically what happened was, about almost 10 years ago now, I kind of went through this massive trauma. A lot of old childhood stuff came up, and my marriage kind of broke down at the same time, and I kind of just spiraled into this awful pit of kind of depression and despair. I mean, I'd suffered with depression quite a lot throughout my 30s anyway, and I never knew why, because sort of, I think on paper everything looked great, and I was just, why am I not happy? Why am I so miserable? And then all this stuff just resurfaced, and it kind of all compounded and all happened at the same time. And then I just went on this kind of downward sort of spiral for the next 4 or 5 years, really, and just ended up getting involved with the wrong people, toxic people, a lot of toxic behavior, drugs, alcohol, that kind of thing. And it kind of got to a point where I was just, it was like I was telling myself that it was fun and I was enjoying myself and everything was okay, but really, obviously, everything wasn't, because that was so out of character for me to sort of act like that. And then really it was, I think coronavirus coming along, COVID coming along, saved me, really. That's how I'm looking at it, because when lockdown happened, everything stopped, and it meant I couldn't do any of that stuff. I couldn't meet up with those people. I couldn't go out to these places and do all those things. And it was just a huge relief, really. And so I was sort of sat there one morning and I was just like, what am I doing? What, I've got to change this, because I can't carry on like this. This isn't me. And I'd kind of started meditation a couple of years prior to that, but not regularly. So I kind of went deep into the meditation practice and just sort of self-healing. And through meditation, I was kind of guided back to painting. I'd always been creative as a child, but I realized later on that my sort of creativity then was a way of me coping with the trauma, because I used to do a lot of kind of really intricate, detailed pencil portraits, and they were all really sort of delicate and controlled, and everything was really sort of tight and just very detailed. And it was sort of my way of just focusing my mind on that rather than everything else, all the shit that was going on at home.
You just made me think about something that I've probably never thought of, something with art. Is that the case? If it's like really, are they quite controlled people? Or are they, you know, when you see like these massive...
I don't know if that's a general kind of rule, but yeah, I mean, I used to find it very difficult to create free flowing and so that's why the sort of abstract pieces that I create now are so different from what I used to do as a kid.
Seeing your pictures now, I love them.
Yeah. It's kind of like I just went bah! And everything, like all my emotions and all my expression just came out onto the canvas. And yeah, during lockdown, it was kind of like, I've got nothing else to do but paint. I'm stuck at home on my own. I'm just going to paint. And so I did. And I just sort of painted my way out of all the darkness and out of the shit. And then I started putting it together with the meditation, because I'm a bit of a geek, and I love to sort of go into the science of things and research all that. And I was researching it, and it turns out that looking at art has the same effect on our brain as meditation. So it kind of balances both sides of your brain at the same time.
Water, I've read, because I do, and being near water. So meditation, art, water, they have the same effect on our body. So even just looking at water or being near water is really similar. I read that.
It's kind of that balance thing.
You know, when you see something come up on Instagram, I was like, this is all really weird. I've got this girl Kerry coming on, and all this colour stuff and art stuff keeps popping up on my feed that I'm obviously meant to see stuff. And you came out and you've been using meditation and things, which we talk about so much on here. We call it our spiritual toolbox. So we have things that we pull from when we're in those low times. And as women, we follow the synchronicity of the moon. You're going to get highs, you're going to get lows, and we go through these phases throughout the month. It's completely normal. But do you now find those techniques that you learned to pull yourself out of that place? Do you still use them now? You still meditating?
Oh yeah, I meditate every day. Yeah. I meditate every morning, and then usually try and do 20 minutes or so before I go to sleep. But it's changed over the last couple of years. I sort of do different ones depending on what I'm feeling or what I want to feel. And so I do try different ones. But now I've even started creating my own ones using color. So I came up with this kind of visual meditation technique, which because I found when I was talking to people about meditation, a lot of people struggle with, you know, sitting quiet, closed eyes still, and just being with themselves. And so I sort of thought, well, given that looking at art has the same effect, let's combine the two. And if you are that sort of person that gets easily distracted, you can use the artwork as your sort of visual anchor to help keep you in the present moment.
You see that a lot now. A lot of YouTube subliminals that I listen to at night. I've got my own ones in my app, but it's got my own voice on the start of it, so I can't listen to it. The money ones I do because there's no talking on it. But a lot of them now use this visuals on there. I've noticed that so much now. People that put meditations out, they have this visual stuff, and actually that really helps me sometimes when I'm like, oh, entranced in the...
You kind of get mesmerized by that. But and then so I started creating some of those on YouTube and just doing little bit, dabbling with little things. And it's kind of just evolved now into, I'm kind of diving deep into the world of chromotherapy, which is color therapy.
But tell us about that. Tell us what it means, and because some people have never heard of it before. So
I'll start with the random story of how I actually came up with this idea. So my website originally was split into three because I love working with neutrals. I find painting with neutrals, that's my thing. That's me. But I do love color, but I find color very difficult to work with as an artist. And I'd created a few pieces and I thought, well, they don't really sit with the other, the neutral side of thing. And so what I did was I split my gallery into three sections. So I had the meditation collection, which is the neutrals and the sort of soft, gentle, calming pieces. And then I've got the mindfulness and manifesting collection. So the mindfulness collection is more colors, more layers, pieces that you can kind of get lost in to practice mindfulness, really. And then I created the manifesting sets because I wanted to sort of encourage people to look at color differently and help to use it to connect with your emotions so that you can then amplify your manifestation. And I created the little sets and they've been such a success at all the shows that I've done. I kind of thought, I kind of want to do more along that line because I've been obsessed with law of attraction and manifesting and all that kind of thing for the last couple of years. And I just love it. I just find it absolutely fascinating how it does work, And
Those
so
they make you feel as well, those colours, when you they can invoke such an emotion. Is
yeah.
there, like, pink has this around it, like red is this, like, do you know that, is that a thing, like, with colours?
Yeah. Well, that's kind of there's a lot of sort of crossover between color therapy and color psychology. So I was just sort of in the garden in the summer and I just heard this voice through, now I'm kind of getting in touch with my psychic side as well. I'm starting to do a lot of automatic writing and that kind of thing. And I just heard this voice in my head that just said manifest with color. And I was like, oh, I like that. And then Chromagik just popped into my head and I was like, oh my God, yeah, that's what I need to do. And so I've gone on this kind of research journey over the last few months and looking at color and color psychology, color therapy, because chromotherapy in the traditional sense is about using colored light. So we all know about the sort of red light therapy that we see now on the people using the things on their faces with the red light therapy and the masks and everything. So different colors have different effects because we photosynthesize like plants. So our skin absorbs light. And if you use different colored lights, you're then absorbing those different energies.
And do you know, this has reminded me of something that I haven't thought of since I was 18. When I was 18, me and my mum went to this woman's house for the day. It was like 90 quid for the day or something. I remember it. And she did all these colours, like she matched our colours up. Back in the day, there was like a network marketing company, I think, that was like I can't remember what they were called, the colour specialist or something. Anyway, I remember her having these silk massive scarves, holding them up to our skin, and how different we looked next to the colours. That stayed with me. Like, I can't, there's certain colors like oranges and yellows I just never wear, like, and these, it was like just made me look so washed out, but my mum was like with the same color. So
I always remember that from, do you remember Bridget Jones? Yes. In the film, her mum's always going, oh, I'm going to get my colors done. And I had no idea what that meant. Now I've kind of now I've into it. It's just like, it's about the fashion and what colors you should be wearing and that kind of thing.
But how it changes your face and your energy and how to make you feel in different colors. Anyway, sorry, carry on. It's interesting.
So I've kind of got this manifesting with color thing, and I suddenly realized that obviously color can be used as a tool to help you sort of amplify your manifestation, because it does have such an effect on our emotions and our energy. Everyone is kind of affected by color in some way. Everyone has favorite colors they don't like, and so it kind of just made sense to me, really.
All of our chakras as well are all
exactly
because I remember not ever liking the color red, and then I wrote and created a chakra course, which is on my website, the minute I healed my root chakra, and then I started creating content for that root chakra, because obviously then you're actually doing it while you're creating. I just wanted to wear red all the time. It was really weird. My husband was like, "You're wearing a red jacket." I bought a red jacket for work, and I'm like, I was wearing red all the time. And I was like, I know fucking why that's happened, because I've started to heal my
Yeah.
root, which is all red. Yeah, that's so bizarre.
Yeah, no, there's so much to sort of look into. I mean, I'm kind of just scratching the surface really with all this. And yeah, the red is quite a low vibrational color. I've got a bit of an aversion to red as well, I have to say. And it is the lower sort of emotions, you know, and it's associated with anger and rage and shame and all that kind of thing as well. I mean, it has positive as well. All colors have a positive and negative side. But yeah, that kind red is kind of associated with the lower things. So if you can, yeah, like you say, if you can heal those and then you work up
Yeah. I
through
can't
the chakras.
It isn't a jacket that comes out very much. I will say that. See the cupboard is there. Blue's my colour. I'm a blue girl rather than.
Are you? Yeah. See, I worked out that I have a very strong aversion to blue. And I kind of worked out why. And I went back and sort of did a lot of meditation around it, because I've always,
because people are going to be listening to this going, how did she do that? Because that's what I'm thinking. How did
it started because I knew I wanted to sort of do more of this kind of thing, speaking and using my voice to sort of, I knew I had to do that to be able to sort of share all this knowledge and everything that I'm gaining. But I've been someone that's always been, you know, as a kid, I was always very shy. I never spoke up in class. Anytime the teacher picked on me, you know, I was just like rabbit in headlights and never knew what to say. And I was never very extrovert. But I knew I had to start. And I knew that blue is the throat chakra. So I needed to sort of heal that, open that up. And also what I learned through working with blue as well is that it's a color of confidence, it's the color of sort of truth and finding your inner voice. So I thought, right, this is what I need to do. I need to sort of incorporate more blue, because I have no blue anywhere in my house. The only blue I have is my jeans. Basically, I don't wear blue apart from jeans, and I have no blue anywhere. And I thought, right, I need to sort this out. So I started focusing on it and thinking, right, I need to open my throat chakra. I need to bring more blue in. So I've got a blue painting above me on my shelf above my desk. It's great to bring into offices and workspaces. And I started meditating and just sort of visualizing blue light and, you know, all that kind of thing around my throat and opening up my voice. And it's just kind of, it's really healed it, because what I realized is my aversion came from the sea and water. I'm absolutely terrified of water and the sea. And I think it comes from, because I grew up on the Isle of Wight. And I absolutely hated it. I hated every minute of it. I mean, there were some good times.
On the Isle of Wight and you hate the sea, like that.
Exactly.
You must have been looking at the sea wherever you went.
That was the problem. I think that's what I realised through my meditation, because it was I felt trapped.
Yeah,
it made me feel trapped, and it was a barrier to sort of getting to where I wanted to be. I wanted to be on the mainland, you know, with everyone else. I didn't want to be stuck on this island.
You know where that fear comes from? The water.
I think it is just that sort of feeling of being trapped and surrounded by it. And it
goes back to, this is part of my book that I'm writing, is that when we have these fears that we can't really explain, they're often a witch wound, which is centuries and centuries and centuries before. And when you get even more into meditation, you can start to do past life yourself, or go and see a shamanic healer who will clear it for you.
Because I listened to a lot of your witch wound
stuff. Yeah, you're probably it's back way back, like your
I've got a sneaky feeling there's definitely something there where I was probably drowned, or
you know. And what you find as well is what my book is about as well, is through lockdown specifically, a lot of us creative women who were witches in a previous life are now coming into this space where we're finding our voice, and we're either artistic or coaches or, and so it's often those women actually that start to uncover those wounds like you have, and you're like, now you're just this amazing artist, and it will only grow from there as well, I'm sure. But you found your voice, and it's so interesting to hear.
It's so interesting. There's so many different
in your life. It's so interesting.
There's so many layers to it. Because going back to the witch stuff, I mean, what I'm learning is, I probably have had that kind of witch, and I've been afraid to sort of share my gifts, and now it's all becoming opened up, because obviously perhaps back in the day, you got persecuted, didn't you, for anything creative,
artistic and creative. Absolutely. It can also be, over the next sort of year or so, you're seeing a bigger shift in yourself where nothing can burst your bubble. Like, weird stuff happened on our holiday, and a few things went wrong, and like stuff crops up, and you're just like, meh.
I'm definitely getting there.
Like, nothing can burst this bubble. It's such a cool place to come into, and I feel like you're going into that as well with your art.
I kind of feel like I'm uncovering more and more layers as I go. And it's just, I'm finding my sort of authenticity and my truth, and I'm just like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Because my whole life I have been obsessed with like paint and colors, and just, I used to love it when first day of term came, because you had a brand new set of pencils, and they were all sharp, and they were all in the right order, and I just
the smell of that pencil case, I remember
loved it. So I love seeing color palettes and things like that, and I'm just like, but I never quite knew how to work it into my life. I mean, I thought, for a little while I've done a lot of sort of interior styling and that kind of thing as well, and I thought that was my path for a while, and then I realized
I get loads of messages that come through, like psychic stuff, and I can see you. Okay, let's just put this out there, because this is what my guys are telling me. You're going to be you're going to have someone come across your website who's really wealthy, and they're going to want a massive painting, to the point where you're like, shall I just come around your house and paint it on your wall? That's like, I don't know why I'm being shown that in my head right now. This is going to be so funny if we listen to this back in a year and you're like, that's what they're showing, like this massive wall, and they're like, you're like just in there, like going for it with color. I don't know why.
That's amazing.
There you go. Let's manifest the shit out of that for you.
Yeah, let's manifest it. Yeah, no, it sounds great.
Sure, I want to learn about the actual colors. So, because people will be like, my website is this color, is that the right color for me? Like, how do you know what colors are right for you, and what kind of those colors have connotations with different things? Tell us all about that, what you've learned.
Okay, so what I've learned, I mean, obviously there are different colors for different things, and it kind of depends on what you want other people to feel, but you've also got to be comfortable with it. I mean, my natural kind of color palette, I suppose, is white, black, gray, and pink. But I'm sort of trying to shift away from that, because I know that you can't base your branding on what you like. It's got to be sort of what's right for the brand. So the blue, I love the blue that you've chosen for yours. It's that really dark blue, isn't it?
Because you can look at different, I mean, look at the color of the Zoom logo that we're recording on now, like that sort of blue. It was like, oh my god, that would just be a no, like that'd be like a activity club or something. Like, so weird that, and the different shades of blue associate with different things as well, because you're like, oh god, no, that. I remember when they started sending me the greens, and I was like, oh no, I think of Lloyd's Bank when I look at that. Lewis, I was like, no, not that green. And then it will be really dark, and I was like, oh no, this is like Lydia Millen's book Evergreen, which if you haven't seen, it's brilliant. I love following her online. I was like, all these colors reminded me of different things. And then my sacred souls, I've still got the old website at the moment, is all pink. Like, all my branding was pink, everything was pink. And the girl that made my website, she said, now I've met you, you're not pink. She's like, you love pink and you love sparkle, but she said, you're going to have to find a stronger color to bring through your She said, because you're not a pink, you're not like really soft and really, you are feminine, but you've got a lot of masculine in you. And I was just like, that's so true.
It's true. Yeah, I can. That, yeah,
At the moment because of your colours. And when she said that to me, I can't unsee it now. I'm like, oh God, I need to get.
yeah.
I'm trying to get
It's.
as much pink as
I
possible.
think she's spot on actually,
Yeah.
because you've got that kind of balance of both in your energy. But the dark blue, I thought was really interesting because it's like that particular sort of shade of really dark, inky blue is so deeply healing
See, I didn't know that. You said that to
and
me.
calming and soothing. Yeah, a lot of people find that kind of blue very healing. So you've definitely got that side of it right. But going back to the
Thing about the throat chakra just a minute ago for yourself, and I was like, I didn't know any of that because I was healing my throat chakra whilst we were creating the new brand, and I was like, oh, it's funny now. I'm really drawn to the blue. Yeah,
that's why the blues come through then, I think, because yeah, but then it's obviously
yeah. So
that darker shade because of the healing aspect of your work.
hmm.
Whereas, like you say, the Zoom logo and what's some other logo? Is it IBM that's blue?
Barclays Bank, they're like a funny light blue, aren't they?
Yeah, that sort of bright electric blue like that is more about communication.
Yeah,
It's a very it is a very corporate color,
colour.
which
That's
is
what
why
I
you find
said.
a lot of those sort of
Yeah, I said I was like, no, not that blue. It's corporate.
yeah, which is
Mm.
why you have an aversion to it. But going back to the green as well, the green is interesting. You mentioned Lloyd's and John Lewis because that sort of darker.
The darker green I like. I like the kind of the really dark, not olivey, but
It's kind of in between.
I like that. I did like that. I played with that for a little while, but like a bright kind of, like your Word Excel document, that kind of green.
Yeah.
Your
No,
Spotify
the kind of John Lewis green definitely represents kind of stability and security and just reliability, I suppose, which is obviously what you associate with John Lewis. So yeah, there's a lot of marketing experts that use color psychology.
people who in my group who knew that I was going to be interviewing today in our membership said, can you ask her about black? Because a lot of our girls have their own businesses and they're saying, is black a negative color to have on their website? Or can it be good?
I don't think I love black. I it can be seen as negative, I suppose, but I think black really is timeless. It's elegant if used with complementary colors as well. There's a lot to do with personalities as well, which there's different seasonal personalities that relate to color, and black is the only it appears in the winter color palette.
Yeah.
So for me, black is the color of winter, because it sort of I think of like this black and sparkles of Christmas and that kind of like just sparkly, glittery, and everything goes with black.
Yeah.
That makes it stand out. So yeah, it's not I don't think it's a negative color for branding. You probably wouldn't want to use it on its own, but there's no reason you can't incorporate it. But perhaps maybe you could use not absolute black. You could use more of a charcoal just to sort of soften it up or something.
That's one of my colours actually. It's like a charcoaly black for my writing and stuff on the website and stuff. So
I've used
that. Yeah.
charcoal.
It's easy to read, I think, when it's like that as well.
Mm.
And so tell us about your own colour journey at the moment. So you said you're moving away from like the pastel colours and the pink. Why is that? Just because you want to create more to offer for people, or is it a journey you've been?
I'm kind of separating the two now. So I'm kind of keeping the art for the soul stuff as the sort of neutrals, but I'm building the Chromagik stuff with more color. But I'm sort of going through the branding process at the moment, and I'm immediately thinking it's got to be kind of blue, like indigo blue, pink and white, and that kind of, I don't know, it just feels
You'll know when you see it. weird
Yeah.
because
So
there's the pink that I picked in my palette for my website, and then when she put it with the blue and sent me a screenshot of what it would look like, I was like, oh no, that's horrible. She's like, I told you, but you need to see it. I'm such a visual person. I need to see it together. And then I was like, then we went for like a more pastel-y pink with a rosy gold and whites and dark blues, and it just worked so well. The palette looked
love it.
beautiful. And she sent me like a what your Instagram will look like. And I was like, oh my God, that's stunning. Like,
Oh, maybe I need to get her number.
yeah, you do. She's brilliant. She's called Angie from Up Brand. Her business is called Up Brand, and it really does up your brand because she'll send you this massive document.
Yeah.
I fucking hate filling out forms, but I was like filling all these forms out and like just, and she's getting a vibe of your words that you use and kind of like how you speak. And then she meets you on a Zoom call and gets to know you a bit. And then she's like, oh, you are, and her colleague was with her and they were looking at each other and then both unmuted and went, you're not pink.
Yeah.
I'm not pink. Your
Yeah.
vibe isn't pink. And I was like, but I'm pink. And they're like, we're gonna let you keep pink in there because you love it, but we're not going to have it as your main color. And I was like,
yeah, I think I think she's absolutely right because pink is a lot more, especially sort of a pale pink, baby pink is a lot more gentle, a lot more calming and soothing, whereas you're quite energetic, you're quite extroverted.
my membership group who's an author and she teaches people how to write books, and Rebecca Robertson, she's fantastic. Her theme is pink. She's like light pinks, she's got a slightly darker pink, really pastely, and it so suits her. Like I look at her pink brand and I think, God, I was almost using the same colors, but I'm completely different energy to her. She's so calm and gentle, and like when I speak to her on the phone and things, I just feel like it's ethereal, angelic feeling about it. And I was like, I think make people think like that. I'm such a ball of energy. I'm like a bull in a china shop.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can see how the colors can really totally mismatch your business. And I didn't realize my colors were actually my brand disservice by having them so light.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, is it, like I say, just because you like a color doesn't necessarily mean it's right for you. It's got to sort of connect with your energy and what you're all about, really.
You create your paintings then, so tell us about that. Is it through meditation? And by the way, just quickly to interrupt here, you're getting all these download messages because you're meditating every day and because you've cleared so much. Like you probably wouldn't have got that Chromagik
no, exactly
3 years ago. Look at all the work you've been doing on yourself. This is why all the listeners listening to this, it's so important that we keep doing the inner work on ourselves, because those messages come through at the exact right time, like divine timing, we call it. And I feel like, does this happen with your paintings? Do you get those messages now come through for like, paint this?
I kind of just get a feeling as to what, because I always start with a color palette in mind. I don't sort of set out to create something specific. I will just tap into how I'm feeling, or what is the sort of energy or the emotion that I want to convey, and I will choose a color palette based on that, and then I literally just work straight onto the canvas, and just keep going and see what happens, and then it just sort of evolves over a period of weeks and months.
Exciting. What are you working on at the moment?
I have down tools in the studio at the moment because I'm working on all this Chromagik stuff and I want to get that done over the next couple of months. But I do have some ideas for my next collection.
About how they can find you. Where can they find all your beautiful artwork?
So my website
is having a look.
Yeah, hopefully. So my website is kerryhussain.com, or you can Google Art for the Soul as well, and I think it comes up. But I will be shifting some of the manifesting stuff over to chromagik.com. And that's ready. But yeah, I've got some ideas about some artwork to sort of tie in with all this Chromagik stuff that's going to hopefully start happening in January.
January is a big month. That's when I launch mine. You're going to be launching your stuff.
Well, I'm so excited for next year because I'm an Aquarius, and Pluto going into Aquarius is apparently a massive deal. So I'm really excited. I think big things are going to happen next year.
Oh, I love that. I'm literally a day away from being an Aquarian. So I've got quite a lot of Aquarian energy. I'm a Pisces, but we are the dreamers, the different ones on the planet, aren't we? The Pisces
Yes.
and the Aquarian, the ones that are sometimes
Visionaries.
misunderstood. The visionaries, this is it. I've got you on today. It's been absolutely
Thank you
marvelous
so
having you as a
much.
guest, and I'm sending you so much love and luck. And I can just see this big thing happening with you being asked to paint in some posh person's house. Do you live in London?
I do at the moment, but
That's where I was being shown like a bit, I don't know if it was in London, but it's like a big, almost like a Georgian house. You know, they have the massive ceilings.
yeah,
Room
yeah.
like that. And they
Well,
were
I am open for commissions. So
anyone listening,
anyone listening?
got your house painted, she's there for you. There you go. Like that. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank you.
much
It's
for
been so much fun.
spending time with us today and sharing all your beautiful knowledge about colour with our listeners, because it is really important for our businesses to get it right, nail that colour and manifest with colour. That's so cool that you talked about that as well today.
Definitely. I will be hopefully starting to offer some sort of workshops or like one-to-one sessions next year. So if anyone is interested in learning more about colour therapy, then I would say just sign up to my newsletter and
Great.
all the info.
Fantastic. I'll be doing that myself. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you so much.
Bye, guys. Have a great day.
Are you ready to start manifesting and raising your vibration all at your fingertips? Introducing the Sacred Souls mobile app. Imagine having all of the tools you could possibly need to manifest and raise your vibration like never before, all in the palm of your hand, wherever you are in the world. Now, this membership is for you, my darling listener, if you are a beginner to manifesting and you're not sure what to do or how to get the wheels in motion. Maybe you're an old-time manifester and you've just got stuck in the mud. You feel completely blocked and you're struggling to move forward. You might be anxious and on the edge, and you're really feeling like you want to start to take control of your energy and you're wanting to really move forward with your manifestations, but you're a little bit overwhelmed trying to juggle life and you want to find a space to start looking after you. If you've been on a spiritual journey for a while, then you will be ready to take things up a notch. There is something for everybody here. So are you ready for more? More money, more abundance, more love, more everything, and most importantly, more community. This is not just any app where you're going to be downloading things and watching videos and listening to audios. Yes, it's got all of that and beautiful workbooks within it, but you get to be part of a community and live calls and masterclasses as well. So are you ready to start creating the life of your dreams? Because I am ready to do that with you. Click the link in the show notes and join me today in my sacred community and start your manifesting journey within the Sacred Souls membership. I can't wait to see you there.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm sending you a huge virtual squishy hug, and I hope today's episode has helped giving you some inspiration, energy, and a light bulb moment. So do share your light bulbs or any takeaways you've had on your socials and tag me in, as I absolutely love to hear from you. So if you love to share, you are going to love my giveaway. Every month I'm running a new competition to win a large moon box packed full of crystals, candles, affirmation cards, incense, my Love Yourself to the Moon and Back journal, and a real surprise of spiritual treats that change every month. So listen up if you want to win and get your hands on this, because all you have to do is, number 1, leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. Number 2, tag me on your socials with either a post, video or story of your top takeaway of that specific episode. Be sure to tag me in as @RebeccaWellstead-Green so that I see it, and you'll be entered into my free prize draw. So from my heart to yours, lots of love to the moon and back. Have a fabulous week, beautiful, and I can't wait to spend time with you again next week. Mwah.